All right, guys. I think we're recording. We're going to go through the routine with the word of the day. Some of you are already doing this, you know the routine, but some of you still have some questions. I'm going to ask you guys some questions as we go along so you can help me. So I go to the Google Classroom, and you can click on the presentation and click on the appropriate slide, or you can simply go to my Google Classroom and look under bell ringer. So under bell ringer, you're going to find the bell ringer and the word of the day. Today's word of the day, number 6. So the word of the day right here is ser. It's a Spanish word, so we want to translate it to English, right? So how are we going to do that? If you already know what it means, if you remember from Spanish 1, you can just type it. But if not, you're going to use wordreference.com. So I'm going to go ahead and open up wordreference.com. I personally like to save the bookmark to get to it easy, but I'm walking you through the steps so you can see how it's spelled. Make sure you spell it correctly. And when it pops up, it should look like that. I have the app on my phone. You can do that. You can get the app on your computer, or you can just use the web-based tool like I'm using now. You're going to see the screen right here. And the first thing you have to do is make sure that your dictionary has the right settings. So our word is in Spanish, ser, and we want to go to English. So we're going to click on Spanish, English. And in the little box, we're going to type the word. Spelling does matter. Sometimes the accents don't, because it'll pop up and you'll be able to select it this way. So we're going to select ser, and it says ES. So we know Español, so we know that that's correct. EN would be English. We're going to click on that. And then it pops up. So right now you have your translations on the screen, and you're going to see all the different definitions. So looking at those guys, I recommend you don't always pick the first one, right? Just read through a few and try to think, like, based on the context, Spanish class, what's the most appropriate? So being, person, I don't know. Today I'm probably going to go with be, right? B-E, or to be, which is the infinitive form. Be is the base form, like if you look it up in the dictionary, and the infinitive form is just be plus the word to, T-O. So I'm going to go back to my word of the day document. I'm going to type in my translation, to be, and there it is. So the next thing we got is categoría gramatical, part of speech. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to go back. We're going to look right here for our part of speech. And so when we click over right here, being or be, we can see, right, this one's a noun, but that's not the definition we picked, right? Like an alien being or something. If you said that, that would be an example of using being as a noun. But we want to use it as a verb. So you can see here it says VI, intransitive verb. It tells you what that, you don't necessarily have to know what that means, just know it's a verb. And if you look on the Spanish, it says VI, it's a verb. So the other day we talked about nouns and gender. Like this is a masculine noun, and this is, in English, we don't have gender, it's just a noun. But we're not worried about gender with verbs. So I'm going to head and go back, and I'm going to type in verb. I let you write the grammatical categories in English, right? That one. So now in Spanish, it's a cognate, it's verbo. So if you know that, you can write that. That's cool. I would definitely not take points off, but I'm not going to force you to write this category in Spanish. All right, so how do we find the definition? So it depends on if the word is going English, Spanish, Spanish, English. So we're going to head and we're going to click on, go back to word reference. And so the definition, well, you say it's be, right? But there's a difference between a translation and a definition. So we actually want our definition in Spanish if we can. So when you scroll back up to the top, right under the verb, you see Spanish definition. That's what we're going to click on, right? So I went ahead and go and click on that. We have ser. So what does ser mean? It can mean, here's one definition and it has 4 different selections. There's 2, This is Spanish too. I'm not going to be picky. I would just be happy for you to take any of these definitions and you're going to copy and paste it right into the document, right? So try to look at the context and see, okay, which one is probably one that makes more sense? So like you can see this, existencia. So you think, oh, that's a cognate. Maybe in English that means existence. If you want to know, if you're curious, you can plug it back in and the dictionary and look it up just to confirm. But you copy paste. For some reason, I noticed if you go right to left, it doesn't work as well. It does that. It brings you to the other page. But what I noticed is if you go from left to right, it lets you. Don't ask me why. When you go back to the word of the day, you're going to head and copy and paste it in. That's probably the easiest way. That's not cheating. That's not copying. I mean, literally, it is copying, but that's what I want you to do, right? So if you're one of those people that you don't like, see how the font's different, you can always change that when you're all done. You can go and you just highlight it, and you would come up here and change your font that way. Normal text. Okay. So use in a sentence. How are we going to do that? So we go back to let's go back to our original screen. And if you notice, it uses it in a sentence right here on the original screen. So you got your verb. Let's go down to our verb, not the noun. And it tells you in English what it says in Spanish. And usually they line up pretty good. So you can literally copy and paste that. So if the verb is be, we can see es, is, right? So we're starting to see right now what verb conjugation means. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But the water in the lake is blue. That's a good example. You can use that. These 2 cars are mine. You can use that too, right? Is, are both forms of to be. So I don't care which one you use. Let me see. So we're going to copy and paste the Spanish because we want to do as much in Spanish as we can. So we're going to go ahead and put that back in there. Okay. Now, that one kind of messed up the format a little bit. Honestly, I don't like that, but I could always go back and fix that later or find out what happened. If something like that happens, this is not a test. This is a minor assignment. That doesn't bother me, okay? So for now, I just want to get the assignment done, so I'm going to leave it that way. Okay, syllables. Now, this is one of my favorite parts. You guys bring your headbuds, your earbuds, and if you're at home, and you get to listen to the word. So I'm going to turn my speaker on so you can hear it. Okay. Ser, right? So I don't expect you guys to be able to do the ser part right yet. But if you can say ser, to be. So you can, that's Mexico. So that kind of sounds like the accent that, I have just because that's where I lived. You got Spain? Ser. It's kind of like the difference between us, our English, and England. And then you got other countries like just Argentina. Ser, Argentina, it's a little different. And this also works in English. Like if you guys look words up in English, it's pretty neat. So what we're looking at is how many syllables. So how many syllables?
Ser.
How many syllables you going to put there? 1. So do you have to put uno? No, you can write the number. If you want to put uno, that's great. If you want to write the number in Spanish. Synonyms. How are we going to do that? Okay. So synonym, a similar word in Spanish, they make it easy for you right here. Spanish synonyms. If you guys are in English class, you know, like I say, I realize you're not all going to be Spanish teachers, right? But if you're in English class, you can use the same dictionary and do the same things, and it'll help you in English class, okay? So hopefully you're going to take this skill and use it in other places. We got ser. Any of these words are synonyms. You don't have to put them all. Just pick one. Pick your favorite. Pick a cognate. Pick one that is going to help you remember what the verb means. So I don't know. Ser, to be. I'm gonna take. Like I said, you can take any of them. I don't want to think too hard about this, so I'm just gonna take essence. To be. When we talk about to be, you can see I copied that wrong. It's easier when you go left to right. Let me try that. Left to right. I'll go ahead and put it back in my word of the day document right there. Okay. And image. So to be, that's kind of a hard one when it's an abstract word, right? So I don't know. Let's see what comes up. It's probably going to be some kind of being or something, but we want to try to find a verb. Ser is not really an action word, so it's going to be hard. But remember, whatever helps you remember what the word means. That's what the point of the image is. Not for me, it's for you. So if I don't like your image, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to take points off as long as you have an image. And it's appropriate, right? But so when you hit insert up here and image, if you have a picture on your computer, you can use it. But I usually just do search the web. And I mean, you can put in the word in Spanish and see what pops up. So, you know, that's not really what we're looking for. So maybe to be, because we know what that means. We can do that way. Okay. Not really seeing much here. Do any of you guys have any ideas for images? What would you put for the verb to be? To be. Maybe I picture, how about this? This is where my brain goes. So I kind of like this image right here, yoga. So I'm going to put that image in because I don't know, but maybe that doesn't make sense to you, but I kind of think of like being like, I'm one with the world right now, right? It's Friday and that's it. So that's how you do the word of the day. We've done this day 6, so I don't think you guys have any questions. I'm going to stop sharing this.